here, I'm finally getting to sit down and film my first video. I'm really excited. Coming with the YouTube channel is also going to be a podcast that is going to start pretty soon, and that'll be a segment on this YouTube channel as well because it's going to be an audio visual podcast. So you will be able to find it where you watch all of your other podcasts, but you'll also be able to watch it on my YouTube channel. Anyways, that's my little intro. I'm getting back in the swing of YouTube, okay? So like bear with me here. I haven't done this in like years. Like I don't think I've done YouTube in I think like 3 or 4 years. It's been a minute. This isn't perfect. I apologize, but it will get better. Today, we're gonna be getting into all of my favorite products as a nail tech. I feel like that is one of my most frequently asked questions on my TikTok, my Reels, my Instagram posts, like literally everything is usually product questions. I'm gonna do little categories in this video and tell y'all all of my top favorites in each category. Diving right in, my first category, obviously, is going to just be gel polishes. I have quite a few. I have actually like a whole wall of nail polishes that you can't even see on camera. I have tried so many different brands. Picking a favorite is kind of difficult in terms of a gel polish brand because every brand is going to have hits and misses. For example, Après. These are all Après polishes. I love their gel polish line and I love their products, okay? Don't get me wrong. However, there are some shades that are better quality than others. And that's the same thing for literally any brand. So keep that in mind. Some might hit, some might miss. Anyways, that being said, my current favorite gel polish brand is Chawn Legend. I just became an affiliate for Chawn Legend, so code CAST10 for 10% off, obviously. However, I have been raving about Chawn's products like way before I was an affiliate. I was sent a small PR package from him like several months ago, and I fell fucking in love. His products are so good. Sorry, my shirt keeps falling down because of this heavy ass microphone. This is what one of the bottles looks like. I'm obsessed with the packaging. They're like velvet matte type bottles. The brush applicator has kind of like the thicker, denser bristles, if you know what I'm referring to, as opposed to plastic bristles. I think that's the right verbiage, not entirely sure. That being said, let me tell you why Chawn is my current favorite. And again, I love all of the brands that I use, okay? This is just my top favorite for multiple reasons, okay? So Chawn is very cost efficient. I believe each bottle is around $12 to $13 a bottle, which is much cheaper compared to other brands such as Après or OPI, things like that, which typically will run you over $15, $16 up to like in the 20s potentially, depending on what you're getting and what brand you're working with. So that being said, the price point is very, very fair. Like I said, the packaging, gorgeous, very pretty. It looks really pretty on your wall. The brush applicator is one of my favorite applicators to work with. And so far, the formula in all of his polishes that I've worked with have all been incredible. Specifically, his black and his white gel polishes. Those are the best black and white gel polishes I have ever worked with. They are so okay. They can work with one coat. I've literally never seen a one coat black or white gel polish until those. I also really love his top coat. That's my other favorite at the moment for top coat. It's either between that or the Cocoas non-wipe ultra glossy top coat, which that's like a part of the gel polish umbrella. So I'm gonna get into that too. I used to really love Koopa top coat. If you know, you know. They changed their formula recently. I don't know what happened, but their formula is terrible now. It's like this goopy, thick, like glue-like consistency. It's almost like yellowish too, and it is just not it. So I had to find a new go-to, and my new go-to is now Chawn Legends. But I do, like I said, also love the Cocoas one. Moving to base nudes. I'm gonna talk about this as its own specific category. I have several favorites that are from different brands and whatnot. These are just my most used ones. And these are the ones that I get asked the most questions about on all of my social media pages. This is like probably the #1 question I get asked is what base nude I use. I use a lot of different ones, okay? I have so many. The #1 that I use on like 80% of my clients is OPI Put It in Neutral. She's pricey. I want to say a bottle runs you around anywhere between $17 to $22, depending on where you're buying it from. But this is like my holy grail base nude. I do 3 coats typically. My other top couple shades, which there's not really a lot that I use like super consistently outside of Put It in Neutral, other than Sunset Suede by D&D and Gatsby Ghost from D&D as well. These are 2 other nudes that I've noticed I reach for a little bit more than others, but these two and OPI Put It in Neutral are my top 3 shades that my clients ask for. Moving on to builder gels. I've tried a ton of builder gels. I will say my favorites tend to like change and fluctuate and go back and forth, especially depending on the time of the year. In Texas, in the summer, it gets really hot. And when it's really hot, I typically need to reach for a super thick viscosity gel since the really hot weather makes it even thinner. So I kind of have to compensate for that. Anyways, that being said, my current favorites are Agalore. These are some of my favorite colored builder gels that I've worked with. Agalore & Co. It's their structure gels. They have so many pretty shades. The packaging is beautiful. I don't know if this is gonna focus. Oh, yep, it's focused. Their shade Universal and Natural Nude are my 2 most used shades. Those are my 2 most used builder gels, period. Those are a much thicker consistency, which I love. And then another favorite of mine for colored builder gels is Nails Cat Cat. These are slightly thinner in viscosity than Agalore, but they're not too runny, and I love to work with these. She also has an amazing range of shades. For clear builder gels, I also really like the clear versions of those 2 brands that I mentioned, but more specifically, I love their colored shades. My preferred ones that I find myself using are C&D Plexi Gel. It's a super thick viscosity and it makes it really easy to work with and manipulate without it flooding the cuticle area. I would say this is a great product for beginners. Another one that I really like is the American Creator Construction Gel. This is another super thick viscosity gel. I found that I tend to like thicker viscosities more than thinner. The flooding and the runoff, if you know, you know. It is so frustrating to clean that up around the cuticle area constantly while it's just slipping off. So that being said, I really like these 2 and the fact that they're pretty thick in viscosity. Okay, the last ones I'm gonna mention are the Nail Thoughts by Cocoist builder gel. I have been using these for years now. Like I said, I have a lot of favorites with builder gels. These are thinner in viscosity though, so I typically don't reach for these much when it's super hot outside. But aside from that, these are amazing builder gels. I really love those. Now getting into Gelx, I strictly use the Après line for Gelx. I use their nail tips and I use their extend gel and I also use their primer. I use their nail tips. I definitely have found that it is necessary to have both sculpted and natural tips, okay? And I say that because you're gonna have clients that need one type and cannot use the other type. I tried to skate by with just using natural tips on like everyone for a while and it worked out so much better once I got sculpted tips. It's expensive to have to do that, I get it, but it will make your life so much easier in terms of application. When you're trying to put a nail on that doesn't suit a nail bed well enough, your application is going to look like shit and feel messy. I have a lot of people that mention that they get like air bubbles and spillage around the cuticle area and things like that. Actually, the problem is simply that they're using the wrong type of tip and it's not suited for the nail bed that they're working on. So that being said, I find it necessary to have sculpted and natural. Aside from that, my favorite extend gel to use is their original gold bottle extend gel. I also like the newer products that they've come out with in terms of extend gel. However, I've always found myself reaching back for the OG one. I love this stuff. I love the consistency of it. I find it's the easiest for me to work with. However, when I do Gelx, first I do a base coat. So after I prep the nail and I prime, I do a base coat of their non-white extend gel. I use this one in particular because it's a much thinner viscosity and it's a lot easier for me to paint a thin layer onto the nail. This is what I typically use for my first base coat and then I cure that. And then I go in with the gold original extend gel, which is a lot thicker for my actual Gelx application after that. That's not necessary though. You can use one of these products. You don't have to use both. I just had both and I've started doing it like that. So that's just my routine. My camera battery died, but we're back. For this last section, it's all kind of like nail art oriented and stuff that I've like had questions about more frequently under my videos and whatnot. So for isolated chrome, I use this specific matte top coat. Cannot get it to focus. It doesn't matter. It just says YHH. It's a Russian matte top gel, which is what it says on the bottle. This is my favorite matte top coat to do isolated chrome designs with because it dusts right off the nail pretty easily. And if y'all are looking for an in-depth tutorial on isolated chrome, I'm probably gonna post one on YouTube at some point, but I don't have one yet. But you can find one on my Instagram Reels or my TikTok from, I wanna say it was in like October or September. It was from a while ago, so you'll have to scroll a bit, but it is there. But anyway, that is the matte top coat that I use for it. I get tons of questions about that. And then for the actual gel that I use for the chrome design itself, I do a mixture of the Cocoist Ultra Glossy top coat and then a little bit of the Cocoist non-wipe thick black color gel. Piggybacking off of that, for my 3D chrome designs and for all of my 3D work, I use the Crazy Top in Thick. This is what the package looks like. You can buy this product from Nail Mart USA, which I am an affiliate with, or you can also find it through a few different websites if I'm not mistaken. This is what I use for all of my like painted on 3D nail art. This has like a super thick viscosity. This is definitely my favorite that I've ever worked with. I've used a few different types of 3D gels for nail art, and this one has knocked it out of the park for me. This also can be used as an overlay gel, but when I'm doing 3D chrome designs, I mix the Crazy Top with the black Cocoist product I was talking about. This product is non-wipe. I forgot to mention that. That's why it works for chrome designs, but it's a very good versatile product and I love this stuff. Next is the blooming gel that I use. I get lots of questions about this. This has been my like ride or die blooming gel for over a year now, I think. It is the South Texas Nail Supply blooming gel. I am now an affiliate with South Texas Nail Supply, so you can use code CAST10 for 10% off. But I've been using this since way before I was an affiliate with South Texas Nail Supply. Same thing with the other product I'm about to mention. I've been using all of these for a very long time now, so I'm not just recommending it because I'm an affiliate. The other South Texas Nail Supply product I was going to mention is the South Texas Sculpt. These are like putty gels. These are the ones that you can kind of like roll around and use almost like Play-Doh. Always use gloves when you're doing that and working with products like this. Just throwing that out there. Never do that on your bare skin. This is different than the Crazy Top though, in the fact that this is like a putty you can sculpt and play with. I have it in clear and then I also have it in a milky white. Okay, next, this is another kind of like specific nail art question I get a lot, is what brown jelly color I use for tortoiseshell. I use caramel or caramel from Opre. This is the perfect brown shade for tortoiseshell. I do a coat of this and then I do a layer of blooming gel with just random black dots thrown into it to get the tortoiseshell effect. I do have an in-depth tutorial on that on my Reels or my TikTok. It was posted around the same time as the isolated chrome tutorial as well. But I get tons of questions about this, so I figured I'd include it. Two other like ride or die products that are absolute favorites of mine are these two nail bits. The first one is the cuticle bit that I use. This is a cylinder bit. I believe it's medium grit and I get mine on Amazon. It's literally just a random cuticle bit, but I have never found a better bit than this one. This is by far the best cuticle bit that I've ever used. And I've used expensive ones, okay? This is like $6 each. They are so cheap. They last me a good like 2 to 3 months, I would say. And like I said, I have used expensive brands and nothing compares to this one. I don't know what about it. I really don't, but it is so, so good. And you can find that linked on my Amazon storefront. Anyways, next are my removal bits. These are the best removal bits ever. I get so many questions about these because they seriously just remove the product so effortlessly. It's so, so nice. When I tell you, majority of the time, the reason people struggle with soak-offs taking too long, because that's a very common question I get, is why are my soak-offs taking so long? How to get quicker, this and that and the other. Majority of the time, it's because you're not debulking enough product. And in order to debulk enough product, you need a good enough bit to make sure that you're eating away enough of that product without causing too much heat and friction on the nail. And these do a really, really good job of that. These can be found from Nail Mart USA. Again, I am an affiliate with them. You can use code CAST10 for 10% off. And yes, I know I'm an affiliate for a lot of these brands, but I do want to say that I am not including anything in this video that I would not personally use and recommend. This is all stuff that I use on a regular basis. I swear I'm not just bullshitting you because I'm an affiliate, okay? I just needed to like clear that up. But anyways, that is all for today. I obviously have so many products that I love. I wouldn't be able to sit here and tell y'all all of them. Those are just some of my like top favorites at the moment. Like I said, my favorites tend to like change and switch back and forth a lot. So that is the current favorites lineup. I probably will do updated versions of this as I notice my favorites are changing, but I hope this helped you guys for now. Thank y'all for watching my first YouTube video. If you made it till the end, thanks for being here. I'm really excited to start the YouTube channel. If y'all have any specific requests for videos you want, please leave them in the comments. So my outro just abruptly cut off. I'm currently editing. I have no idea what happened to the footage, but it just stopped. So I'm doing my outro right now on my photo booth camera. So anyways, thank you guys for watching my first video. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at beautybycasshtx as well. It's the same handle as my channel. All of the products mentioned in this video will be listed in the caption, and all of my affiliate codes will be there as well. But anyways, that's all for today, and I will see you guys next time.